Hello and welcome to episode 71 of the MisanthroPod. I'm Snipe, and as always, I'm joined by Wib. Say hello.
Hello.
And I am also joined by Drummer Matt. Say hello.
Hello.
How are you lovely gentlemen doing today?
I'm doing okay. We've taken a few days off from doing channel stuff, and
Because of that famous YouTuber burnout.
And I'm already feeling a lot better.
I'm glad.
Good to hear.
So yeah. In other words, back on the hamster wheel. But no,
Our life is constant work and pain.
No, it's fine. I just needed a few days to not.
You're still technically on holiday because I'm fucking telling you are.
Yeah, but I'm. It's useful because now I've got several extra days to do things rather than having to rush in the days that I do have left.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start work again, but at a much reduced and less
Gentler
stressful
pace.
Yeah,
So
it's all
good.
fine. But yeah, how are you, Matt?
I will. Snipe?
Huh? Yeah, I'm fine.
Just fine.
I'm fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's
I'm
fine.
fine.
Everything's
I'm fine. How are you? Great. So, Hubbo Wiblet,
Yes.
the Wibbledictus Manufactorum, what have you been doing these past 2 weeks?
Well, for a start, petitioning you to not ever call me that again.
What Wibble-dictum?
Yes.
Yeah, but what did Wibble do? Wibble-dictum. Because of the penis. It sounds like Wibble-dict M, and M being an apostrophe, like, you put the apostrophe in to kind of show that you've omitted letters, so that's kind of like a, like, you're saying them, but you cut out the TH, put the apostrophe, so it's Wibble-dictum instead of Wibble-dict them, because that's...
I think I speak for everyone when I say, get on with it.
You see, I was just letting her just roll with it.
That is a dangerous thing to do, because you know I won't shut up.
I was
It
just...
never ends.
I was going to see how deep the hole got, you know.
That's why Wibble-dictum.
Hey, whee!
Hey!
So yes, I did some things. I shall talk about them now to move us on from this place.
Please.
The first thing I have to mention is a video game that I have been playing. That is not a new video game. It's actually a very old video game,
Get
but
out.
it is one that is a bit of a pain in the arse to run on a modern system. So I found a modern patch for it. The game in question being Roller Coaster Tycoon 2.
Oh, nice. So my very first question to you is, back in the day when these games were, the shit,
Yes.
were you a Roller Coaster Tycoon person or a theme park person?
Well, I initially really liked Theme Park. I used to play it on a friend's Super Nintendo. I really liked it. But when I got my first proper PC, because we had like an old Windows 3.1 machine that we got like many years after the fact.
Oh, dang.
That wasn't great. But later on we got a proper machine, and that came with Roller Coaster Tycoon 1. So that then became my jam.
Okay.
And and then I eventually got Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 and it came out. Now, the mod that I've got is called OpenRCT2. Now, what that does is fix a lot of issues. OpenRCT, yes.
Open arse ET2.
It's one of those days, isn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, it is.
apparently.
Sexy giggle day.
But so yeah, this mod does a lot of things. Because if you've never played it for some reason, Roller Coaster Tycoon, you build like theme parks, and heavy emphasis on roller coasters, obviously.
What, in Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Yes.
Oh, dang, okay.
Yes. And it's all.
Do you get the little Swan mobiles that you can drive across water?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, as far as I remember, that's just
cool.
a type of like boat you can set up.
Oh, okay. Swan boats are legit.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
But it was an old isometric game, so it's all pixels rather than 3D rendered. And running it on a modern machine has some issues. One is that it doesn't run at modern resolutions, so it looks weird, and if you do run it at high resolutions, everything's way too small. And little things that you don't take for take for granted now, like the ability to alter the audio levels at all, is just not there. Sound is either on or off. So if, say, hypothetically you want to stream it and you want to have some control over your audio, you just don't get that. But what this mod does is it fixes like lots of little things like that. What it does, it sort of installs and it like rips the files from wherever you've got the original game installed. So like if you've got it on Steam or whatever, because I've got like the Triple Thrill pack, I think it's called, is the big pack of it. I mean, I had them physically as well, but I think I got them. I think I got them on Steam for like next to no money one day. And it adds in the ability to alter your volume and lots of tiny little quality of life upgrades. Like when you place down a shop, it automatically opens because there's no reason to have it closed really. The maintenance guys who walk around, they have mowing grass turned off by default, because I don't know if anyone remembers this, but what used to happen with your maintenance guys is you'd pop them down and then they'd go off mowing the lawn, and then you'd wonder why the paths were so dirty, and then you'd realise that all 5 of your maintenance men were at the arse end of the park all mowing the lawn.
Good.
That sounds like a euphemism.
It does.
God, all my janitors were mowing the lawn, if you know what I'm saying.
But yeah, lots of little touches like that they've changed just to make just the general experience a little bit smoother. And of course, it runs at modern resolutions. And more importantly, when it runs at modern resolutions, you can then scale it up so it doesn't end up super tiny, which is a problem when running a lot of old games at modern resolutions. But it is really, really good. I can definitely recommend it if you are a fan of Roller Coaster Tycoon anyway, and you want to play the old games. I don't know if they have one for the original game, but this is obviously for Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. But it's pretty great. I've been enjoying it a lot. I did do a stream of it just on my own a little bit ago, and made a shit park. I have since remembered how to play the video game, so I'll probably do another stream at some point. Making a park where I actually sort of vaguely know what I'm doing. But yeah, I have been enjoying it a lot. It is much fun. It's a bit of nostalgia for me, because that's like one of my there's a handful of games, or I guess it's like 3 games that I would consider like my PC like origins, which was Roller Coaster Tycoon,
Wibble-Dictus Origins,
which is Roller Coaster Tycoon, Total Annihilation, and Worms Armageddon. Those were like the 3 games that when I first got into like PC gaming, I played the shit out of.
Yeah, but which voice pack did you use for Worms?
I generally used the Angry Scots, which I assume would annoy our friend Longfang a lot.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, man.
I can actually hear screaming coming from Scotland right now. Angry Scottish yelling. Here it comes.
Actually, funny enough, I remembered it the other day. Do you guys remember the Worms Armageddon theme tune that had the weird spoken word song like section of it?
No.
Not off the top of my head.
Because I remember the theme, and I remember you telling me the other day, going, "Oh yeah, you don't remember the slam poetry section in the middle?" And I'm like, "No."
You know what? I'm just going to pull it up very quickly.
I thought, like, how you look for worms, and the next one is in children.
What? Oh my.
It's just like, oh god.
So yeah, I won't read the whole thing, but yeah, it like, because the song goes on for like 2.5 minutes, like the intro theme that starts on the menu, and usually you'll only spend like a minute on the menu, so you probably in most instances will never hear this, but it goes through like this kind of like late 90s like dance version of the Worms theme.
Nice.
No.
And then suddenly this a guy comes on and just does this kind of spoken word thing going, "Many moons have passed since the worms went to war, onwards and upwards, bigger weapons than before. Boggy B took cover, he shivered on patrol, the arms race crazy, simply way out of control."
This is quite an interesting.
I recognise the words.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a load of it, and the last verse I actually posted on Twitter, and a bunch of people were like, "I didn't realise that was Worms. I thought you were, like, quoting something from 40k." Because it's like...
Yes, Boggy B.
Yeah, it's like...
That's one of the lost Primarchs, don't you know?
It's like, and now it's the curtain call, the final onslaught. No better bullet could you possibly have bought, but spare a thought for Boggy and with it his friend, so fight with their honour and fight until the end.
The Emperor protects.
And then once again, it goes into this ridiculous, this, like, again, the dance version of the Worms theme. It was really weird, and I'd played the game for, like, months before I ever heard it, because normally you won't spend that long on the menu. And then one time I think I happened to be doing something after I loaded the game up, and then I was like, wait, what the fuck is that?
Did you think you were having like a moment?
It was really weird. But yeah, anyway, enough of my nostalgia for early, well, I say early, but early for me, PC experiences. Yeah, go play RCT2 if you ever wish to play Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 again. It makes the game work a lot better. You can alter the volume of everything individually, pick the right resolutions, scale it up so it doesn't look too small, loads of quality of life upgrades. It's good. Annoyingly, though, the feature that I would have loved to be still in it is not there anymore, which there was originally Twitch integration, so that people in your chat and followers would be the names of all the guests.
That's so cool.
Combined with the ability of, like, if people did a certain thing in chat, it'd come up as a news thing in game.
Awesome.
Loads of people throwing, like, hands with the Swan boats. That's what I would have been doing.
But the server that runs that, like, shut down. You can set up your own one, but it was way above my pay grade, as it were, to know how to do that. So I couldn't do it. But I wish that was still up and running. But anyway, moving on from that, I just have a little bit to talk about the continued Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery.
Well, I mean, it is an episode of the podcast. You have to talk about Star Trek at least once.
Hey, come on. Yeah. Basically, I say nearly the whole intervening time between Discovery Season 1 and Season 2, but I did watch Enterprise.
Yeah.
Look, I've spent literally... There's a month somewhere in the podcast history where I haven't talked about Star Trek.
Maybe.
Probably.
It's unlikely.
And you're now going to spend the rest of your time making up for that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Fair. I mean, what do people expect? It's practically, if this podcast had a theme tune, it involves Star Trek somehow.
It's been a long... That would be the theme tune. And then every time Wib heard it, he'd fucking scream.
I wouldn't scream, but my fists would involuntarily clench. But anyway, yeah, so Star Trek Discovery, continuing with Season 2. Episode 1 was pretty good, as I mentioned last time. Bit rushed, but a more adventure-y kind of tone. A bit more light-hearted, which is good because the first season had a bit of a problem with that. So we've had episodes 2 and 3, and episode 4 will actually be on Netflix, like, tonight.
Oh.
So I'll be watching that later. But yeah, episode 2 did some good touches in making the show feel a bit more Star Trek. Because a lot of people said that the first season didn't feel very Star Trek, and I was one of them, and, a lot of the things you associate with it weren't there. But episode 2 of season 2, I'm just going to give you a broad overview and tell me how Star Trek-y this feels.
Okay.
So, following an anomaly...
Okay, already that's the definition of Star Trek.
The USS Discovery goes to a previously unexplored planet where they find a colony of people from a pre-warp civilization, and they have to go down and not interfere with them whilst trying to understand where this signal is coming from, ends up with a discussion about the concept of the Prime Directive, or General Order 1, as it was called in that era.
Question.
Yeah.
Are any of the aliens bangable?
I mean, I didn't say they were aliens.
Were any of the people down there bangable?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Okay, then, yeah, it's definitely a Star Trek episode.
Also, it was directed by Jonathan Frakes.
Oh, my God!
So...
No way!
So, yeah, it was it was a very Star Trek episode. They also took the time to flesh out one of the bridge crew a bit who went on the away mission, Lieutenant Owushikun.
Oh.
Who, yes, is referred to as OO by people on the ship. And so it's written as OWO, which is incredibly funny to me. But yeah, they're continuing to kind of flesh out those characters a little bit, which is good.
I just want someone to ask her, what's this? So she's like, what's this?
I really hope someone does.
Oh, that'd be so fun. Because memes.
Because memes.
But that would be fun.
But yeah, it's episode 2 was actually genuinely just good. It was very modern Star Trek, of course, but it was Star Trek, and the description I gave is like about 80% of next gen episodes would fit broadly into that category. So
yeah, Jonathan Frakes.
it also talked about the Prime Directive, not in a stupid way, which TNG was especially prone to, treating it as this dogmatic kind of rule. Whereas it treated it a bit more in the spirit of the thing rather than the letter of it.
Yeah.
Which is always good. So yeah, that was good. Episode 3 suffered from the same problems as episode 1 of being a bit rushed. However, it did do some things that... I mentioned this, again, I mentioned this on Twitter, but I'm starting to believe that whoever is making Season 2 must have read my tweets.
They follow you on Twitter.
Because it is like...
And they're just like, Wibkun, please notice me.
Because it really does feel like they've gone through an itemized list of every minor problem I have with Discovery and is trying to fix it. So they're like, okay, so the Spock thing is like purely nonsense, like it's purely vestigial. No, let's make it actually, if we're going to have it, let's make it important. Okay, it doesn't really feel Star Trek. Okay, let's make the most Star Trek episode possible. Oh, so the Klingons don't look like Klingons? Oh, well, let's tone down the makeup a little bit so that they look a bit more like traditional Klingons. Give them their hair back.
Which makes them look so much more like a Klingon.
Give them back pink blood, which admittedly hasn't been canon since the fucking Undiscovered Country, but they were like, fuck it, let's just go back and fix continuity blunders that weren't even continuity blunders. And they are talking about the reason why the ships look so fucking stupid in the Discovery Season 1 is because the houses were splintered and they didn't have a unifying look. And
so basically, they were just like throwing aesthetic at a wall and see what stuck, and just trying to make something work.
And now the Klingon Empire is beginning to be unified. They actually show a D7 cruiser, which is the ship they used in the TOS era, and show that, and like, this is the ship we will now use as unified empire. And it's like, Pike is even shown to use a proper view screen, well, not a view screen, like a vid call kind of screen, rather than using the holograms they use everywhere else. So it's like they just keep going through all the little touches that are kind of irritating and fixing them.
Well, you know what you got to do now? Because the person who's made all those changes is obviously listening because they're completely obsessed with you. You've got to say thank you.
Thank you to that one person. I'm very grateful because...
You know who you are, Sexy Pants.
Whilst I have mellowed a lot on Discovery, and I've come to accept that, you know what, it's a new interpretation, and ultimately the show probably wouldn't last very long if it was just another Star Trek. It needs to be something modern. And it's probably best to try and reinvent something than just do the same thing over and over and over again. But I do really appreciate it because it's still doing its own thing, but it's just showing a little bit more respect to the old shows, which I can assume is probably going to help a lot of people get on board with it who had problems with Season 1. So I would say that, though it's not perfect, like I say, the couple of the 3 episodes, 2 of them have felt a little rushed. It feels a lot more respectful of old Star Trek, if that's the thing that was the problem for you in Season 1. Also,
I like the Lady Klingon.
The Lady Klingon, L'Rell.
I like her. She's fun. Apparently she's also a really cool lady.
Yeah, Mary something her name is.
Yeah,
I can't
I've
remember
heard that she's a badass. So.
Yeah, she's cool, and she's been pretty good, and yeah, she's a bit of a badass as well. And it just all comes across a bit better in this season. So yeah.
Also, I like Adrian Pimento.
Oh yeah, so Ash Tyler, the character from the first season, who if you haven't watched the first season, I won't spoil what's going on.
He literally, I'm at the computer and he shouts me over and goes, "This guy is Adrian fucking Pimento," and I'm like, I am here for that. And he just he really does look a lot like Adrian Pimento. He's got the beard and he's got.
It's not actually the same actor.
No, it's not Jason.
I really wanted to ask because the same actor is in another show and he's basically the same character as well.
He does that character very, very well.
But I want to know if he can do something else.
Yeah, no, he has like a scraggly beard and he has like kind of longer hair, but he has it in like a bun.
But he's got there's a couple of scenes where he has a certain intensity, and I was just looking at him and going, he just really feels like I actually kind of just want Pimento from Brooklyn Nine-Nine to be in this now, of him just like beating up Klingons on Kronos.
To be fair, can you imagine how much fun Adrian Pimento would have just hanging around Kronos?
Oh yeah, Kronos also looks like it's fucking Mordor for some reason.
So it looks like Brooklyn as well.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I've been quite enjoying this season. It's had a lot more life to it, a bit more, a bit less serious about everything. It's not been afraid to be a bit jokey. It's starting to deal with Section 31 stuff, which the first season kind of hinted at, but didn't really do a lot with. And this season is now going a bit heavier into it, which makes sense because what we saw in episode 3 was probably there as the stealth pilot for the Section 31 series that's coming out soon. Well, relatively soon. It's in production now.
That's like Federation Black Ops, isn't it?
Yes,
just for those people who might not know.
Yeah, Section 31 is...
Yeah, no one here. Everyone here knows what's going on.
I mean, we do, obviously. I'm just explaining for the viewers who obviously won't know.
Okay, Section 31 is due to a thing in the Federation Charter that basically states that in extraordinary circumstances, then the Federation's laws and ideals can kind of be suspended for want of... It's better written than that.
It's basically like they have this purge on, purge off button.
Kind of.
So they can just turn off the law.
And it's Section 31 of the Federation Charter, and a group of the Federation kind of splintered off and are kind of secretly funded to do all the kind of Black Ops shit behind the scenes, because their justification is that the time to do this stuff and to suspend the ideals for a greater cause is all the time.
Okay.
So yeah, they've been featured. They've appeared a couple of times in Deep Space Nine. They were kind of integral to the plot, but they didn't appear that often. And they were also mentioned in Star Trek Enterprise, so they're not hugely mentioned. And they were hinted at in Discovery Season 1 with things.
I mean, you could just go, well, obviously that like not many people would know about that kind of stuff.
Oh
it's
yeah,
very hush hush.
The like Starfleet admirals don't know about it.
Yeah, so like canonically it makes sense that it's not really mentioned that often. If you wanna know prize it.
Yeah, but yeah, it looks like we're getting a series about it, and it is it was brought up in the last episode, and I'll be intrigued to see if we see more of it, or if that section of it was just a soft little pilot for what we'll see in the upcoming series. But yeah, it was. I've been enjoying it. It's still got its flaws, but I've been enjoying it. So
good. I'm glad.
But with that said, I will now turn over to the esteemed drummer Matthew.
Drummered
Matthew. I keep forgetting it's Drummered Matthew.
Yes.
Yeah, I have been drummered.
I did used to know a guy called Matthew Drummond.
Oh.
But that's like the evil version of Drummer Matt.
Yeah. Oh, I should probably mention, just before I turn over properly, just before this podcast, because we bought a PS4, by the way, Bloodborne got delivered.
Like literally 5 minutes before we
That's why your
talking.
section was quite short.
Yeah, he's like, okay, bye podcast. I have to go.
Yeah, goodbye everyone. I'm going to play Bloodborne.
Okay, yeah, he's literally just gone. Come back.
We might need you.
You probably need me.
No, we do need you, because I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna start talking about something stupid like Bat Cow again.
Okay, Matt, start
See,
talking.
this is why we need you.
All right, so first
What
up,
you been doing?
just to wrap up on my Just Cause evaluation from the last episode.
Yes.
I finished it, or rather, I finished the story. I didn't collect every single collectible because
Fuck that.
I just feel like, yeah, games. Anyway, whatever. I finished the storyline. I still don't entirely know who anyone was or why things happened, but
Oh, I know that you're playing as a guy called Rico.
yes, you are.
Yeah. See, I probably know more about the story than you do.
Possibly.
Just for that.
But yeah, it was like watching a bad action film. It was still entertaining enough to play it, but I wouldn't ever say it was good. And just an example of that, so things that I discovered after moaning about it last time, is just the plot is... So it's an open world game, so as such, there's not towers that you go to, viewpoints, but there's like settlements that you liberate, and you slowly expand the map of baddie control to your control. So I did all that to start with, because by unlocking extra like settlements and things, you unlock new weapons and various other bits and bobs. So I was like, well, I'll do that. I'll do some of that first, because it's quite satisfying to tick that off, and then I'll go through the plot in a bit. So so at this point, I've cleared the entire map, and the whole map is basically under my control. And then in the story, it goes to a cutscene of the big baddie dictator guy in his house in the town that I've freed, under the house that I've bombed and like isn't his. And he's just there chilling out with all of his goons. And it's just like, okay, that's a bit weird, but maybe he just kept control of his plot of land in the town, and I just control the rest of the town. Okay, fine. I won't think too much about it. And then it gets later on, it's like, right, okay, this is a really important mission. Right, so this mission, we need to cut the power to this big base, because that big base is using its weapons, and we can't defeat it, and we can't control that base until we've defeated this. I was like, yeah, but slight issue with that is that base is already ours, and this mission is just going to cut the power to the base that we are currently running.
Oh, I know what's going on. They're just pranking each other.
Or is it insurance fraud?
I think it might be genuine insurance fraud. It's just, I was like, there's such an easy fix to that. You just say, okay, you can't reclaim this base until you've hit this waypoint in the story. It'd be, slightly annoying. You'd be like, well, why is there this arbitrary limit on things? But at least they wouldn't just be like, oh, let's just pretend you haven't done that, and let's just keep going with the story.
So were there enemies in the base, or was it still under your control?
Sort of. Like, there was some that spawn in, but then it's a bit awkward, because there's like some of your guys are still sort of there, and I don't know, because I haven't done it. I'm not playing it again to see what happens if I do it properly, or in the order they want me to. So I don't know what to compare it to. So there were baddies there. It didn't seem hard. But it's not a particularly hard game anyway, so I don't know if there's less than... Who knows? But it's just all manner... It's just a clusterfuck. Just to further my comments from last time. But, I mean, if you get it for free, it's worth playing. But I wouldn't pay anything for it.
Harsh words.
Basically. Slightly harsh, but if you want... There's better open world games out there, if that's what you want. Mm-hmm. So I moved on to the next game I played. I played 2 games. I'm on a roll with this new game every episode. So first up, I played the Octodad game.
Excellent.
Which I have no idea where I got it, when or where I got it from. But I just saw it on my list of games that I hadn't installed ever, and I was like, okay, right, let's get on that. And yeah, it's pretty great. It's just funny.
How like, oh god, it is so...
Like, is it based off a comic or something, or is it just...
It's just literally just a little indie game.
Okay. So for those who don't know, Octodad is a game where you play as an octopus who is a dad and has a human family and has human children, and no one knows that you're an octopus
apart from a crazed sushi chef.
Yeah, who
just keeps kicking the door into your house and trying to kill you.
Yeah, and you just have to like throw garden gnomes at him, and then he just goes away for a bit.
To be fair, if someone held a garden gnome at my head, I would probably leave.
You don't throw it at his head, you throw it into his wood chipper, or whatever it is that he's driving.
Of course he's driving one of the standard kitchen material.
The game is a bit ridiculous, but it's good fun. You control it by, instead of like, WASD or a joystick controller or whatever, you, on keyboard and mouse at least, you hold down the right mouse to lift up his right leg, and then move the mouse to move it to where, and then let go of the button, and then do left click to move his left leg. And the whole point is that you have to try and get... Have you guys played it?
I feel like I have, but I'm also pretty sure I haven't, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, the point of it is to get through situations without walking in such a stupid way that people realise that you're not a human.
You have like a suspicion bar, and every time you completely kick over a table or something, they go, wait, that's a bit weird.
Yeah, but it's a dramatically long suspicion bar, so you could do a lot of stupid stuff before they're like, hang on.
It's like, speaking as someone who does at least 100 stupid things a day, I wish my suspicion bar was that long.
Yeah, it opens up and it's a flashback to your wedding, when you met your wife, and someone comes into the door and opens the door and sees you basically in full octopus mode and goes and gasps, and you're like, oh, someone's going to notice. Fine, that's going to be what the game's about. And he goes, you're not even dressed yet. Find your tuxedo. It's just like, okay, right, okay, that's the sort of game it is.
I will say my favourite part about Octodad is the fact that, only the sushi chef knows that he's an octopus, but if he's literally just an octopus in a suit. Like you can see the octopus hanging out and everything.
Yeah, and like octopus head, and he can't talk.
And he can't.
He just goes.
And my favorite ever thing is that this kind of extends to like the fandom, for lack of a better word. So I've seen loads of people like they'll post like a picture of like, oh, look at this cool Octodad cosplay, and someone will be like, I don't get it, that's just a standard handsome middle-aged father. And like everyone will play along, and it's just so funny.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's so good. It's like, oh, look at that, what a good dad, he's taking his kids to a convention. He should have put on a costume though. So good.
That is amazing. Yep, it's a good game. It's only about 2 hours long. I don't know how much it'll cost, but I don't think it's much at this point.
Nah.
So, yeah,
also, the theme tune is life-changing.
The theme tune is amazing.
So good.
Yep. And just, I don't have much else to say about it, apart from the one interesting thing is, as I may have mentioned in podcasts before, Ruth doesn't really play video games that much. She wasn't brought up on games, and she never had a console or a PC for games as a kid or anything. She's never really got into it.
Functional people who goes outside and eats fruit and shit.
Yeah, exactly. But I got her to play it, and she wasn't very good at it. But the point is, she was no worse at the game with the intention. So the game, it's got intentional bad controls because it's trying to emulate you trying to walk around as an octopus. So it's sort of not easy on purpose, because if it was just easy, there'd be no game. But she found the weird, like completely fucked up controls no weirder than just using a joystick or WASD or any normal input, because. And it's just something interesting. Like you take into like, you don't think about being able to control a computer game character because it's just what we've done for the last 25 years. I mean,
we all like, someone hands us a controller, you basically know
exactly what all the
buttons
are. You know what button's going to shoot, what button's going to jump, what joystick moves you around, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like we get frustrated when you play a game and it has a tutorial that does the whole press WASD to move around, and you're like, yeah, I fucking know. But sometimes you have to like take a step back and go, every game could be someone's first game, and we go into every game with a lifetime of context of what buttons will likely be used for this, what buttons will likely be used for that, how basic controls for a first-person game work.
I mean, like, that's the thing, it's like, controls, like, I mean, back when I was playing games, it was a wild fucking west when it came to controls. It would just, whatever the programmer felt like, because it was always one programmer. And it's like, oh yeah, it's just like, it's SY right bracket spacebar for your movement, and you're just like, fucking
playing a Commodore 64 game.
Just remember that sentence from the next game I'm going to talk about. But
okay, but yeah, so like basic stuff like movement is almost always standardized, so it's always mouse to look around, WASD, or like left analog stick.
But it's only because
look around.
It's only because of our experiences we know that standard.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just thought it was quite interesting that to her this weird input system was no weirder than any other, which I just thought was quite interesting.
Oh, that is cool. Did she enjoy it though?
Yeah, for the whole 5 minutes before she got bored.
And then went outside and ate fruit.
Yeah, exactly. So that was only a couple of hours. So the next game I was like, okay, let's get into something a bit meatier. And the free game that we got with, not the free, but the Humble monthly game we got a few months ago was the newest Metal Gear Solid game. So I
Metal Gear Survive.
The newest real one. That obviously doesn't count in any possible...
The pachinko machine.
Carry on, Matt. Tell us all about MGS5.
Metal Gear Solid 5, in my notes it just says the first bit. Ground Zero, is it the
Ground
first
Zeroes.
one? So I've been playing that, and I've got the next one. I was downloading the next one while I was playing, because the first one's actually only a few gigs, so my internet can deal with it. I've been downloading. I've got the full actual game ready to go. I have not played a Metal Gear Solid game since the first one.
Oh,
I don't think.
Didn't you play 4?
No, I've seen you play it at some point.
I mean, of course I have.
But not much. And I think I played a little tiny bit of. Was there like a sequel to the first one that was like part 2 or something, or was it the second game? I can't remember.
It was MGS2, which was kind of
back on the PS1 still.
Oh, you mean special missions?
I can't remember. There was an extra bit.
That was like an add-on where you got loads of VR missions if you know,
that was the only one I played after Metal Gear Solid 1, and I just didn't like that or couldn't get into it for whatever reason, and just apparently gave up with the entire series because of that.
Okay,
so
that was basically just DLC missions for like VR. So.
Yeah, but I just didn't enjoy them.
You're weak.
Yeah, I am. But I'm enjoying it. I've played. There's one main mission and there's one map on the Ground Zero, and then there's a bunch of other side missions that are all on the same map, and I assume take place in like parallel universes where you haven't done any of the other missions, because it gets a bit weird. You have to like destroy AA guns or rescue prisoners and things. I assume this isn't like an hour after the original mission. I assume this is like, it's a bit weird, but it's good fun. I have no idea who anyone is.
Okay, so main guy is Big Boss.
Yeah, it took me till at least towards the end of the first mission to realise that I wasn't playing as Solid Snake, because he's basically the only character I remember.
Well, that game is supposed to be set in, I think, like the 80s or something.
Yeah, it's the 70s, but I have no idea when the first game. I have no idea when the first game was meant to be set. So
the first game ever is set in.
Okay, not the first game ever. The Metal Gear Solid.
The first Metal Gear Solid game is set in 2010, something like that. Okay. Metal Gear Solid 2 takes place 2 years after, but it shouldn't have, because it shouldn't fucking exist as a solid bit of continuity, because MGS4 is dumb and was never meant to exist. MGS3 happens in like the 60s, which is basically that's the prequel to MGS5.
Okay.
And MGS4 is just, let's pretend it doesn't exist.
MGS4 has the unfortunate task. It has the unfortunate task of trying to take the plot threads from MGS1, MGS2, and MGS3 and making them into one thing, and
it shouldn't have bothered.
MGS1 and MGS3 are like entirely compatible, but MGS2 just introduces so many concepts that feel like you're not supposed to take a lot of them very literally.
Because I would bet money and plasma on the fact that you weren't supposed to take those literally. In fact, like, a lot of MGS2 is just Kojima sitting there spitting in the face of fans and being like, you'll take it. You like Snake too much.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
It's,
Which is, not a super bad thing, although I do really greatly dislike Kojima.
Yeah. Metal Gear 2 is or Metal Gear Solid 2, rather.
Metal Gear, you mean Snake's Revenge?
Is a far more interesting...
No one means that.
It's a far more interesting thing that exists than video game.
Yeah.
And I think if you go into it more expecting something that's going to mess with you, and not to try and take it as like a coherent thing of continuity.
I mean, I was super happy because at the time I got to see Snake's butt in like HD. So I was like, that's a fine ass.
What was HD for the time?
What was HD for the time? It blew my little mind.
It was still 4:3 on the PS2.
It was, but that butt. Oof. Oof, that butt.
But yes, how are you feeling with Ground Zeroes?
Yeah, I mean, I don't entirely know who anyone is or whether, like, I'm assuming I'm some sort of weird covert thing, so I'm at least in part the baddies, but I don't know if I'm working for, like, someone who is vaguely good, or I don't really know.
Oh, dude.
I'm enjoying the gameplay, but I have no idea what the story is.
I'm glad.
There's on the main menu, one of the options is like backstory or something. I was like, oh, that's useful. When I read it, and I was like, that just made it worse.
There's usually a mission briefing or something in like almost every Metal Gear game, and speaking as someone who knows it thoroughly, I can understand how that would make things even more harder to understand.
I'm just going with the gameplay for now, and figured that once I get onto the main game, rather than the weird prequel demo thing, it might make a bit more sense. And if it doesn't, I'll actually look into it then, because I'm going to give the main game a chance to explain itself.
I will say, once you get into the main game, lie under your horse's booty, because it will just poop on you.
How did you know I'd want that?
Because I know you, Matthew. Get yourself a nice horse poop gift. You deserve it.
Okay, good. But yeah, no, it's good. It's pretty unforgiving compared to a lot of the other stealthy type games I've been playing recently. But that's good because it just makes it a bit challenging. So, But following on from what you were saying earlier, the controls for the PC are all over the place. It's so bizarre. Like, you press tab to bring up your little iDroid thing, which is definitely not technology that would exist in the 70s that you have.
It's butt fucking insane when it comes to technology levels.
Yeah. But like yeah, then it's like up and down you can do W and S to go up and down the menus, but for left and right you have to use 1 and 3 for some reason.
Yeah.
And then spacebar is like enters a thing, unless you want a tape that you want to play, and then you have to press P instead of spacebar.
P for play.
So you have to let go of the mouse to press, or like, press a button on the other side of the keyboard. And so that's kind of a bit weird, and there's sometimes escape works and sometimes it doesn't to go back a menu.
They have anachronistic technology, but of the time computer game controls.
Apparently. But it's not even like within that. So even like within, if you go to grapple someone and you can get in like a headlock and talk to them, you have to hold left click to get them into grapple.
Yeah.
But then once you're in a grapple, you don't need to keep holding left click. But I didn't realise this. Apart from then it says, do you want to interrogate them, which is you hold Q. So you hold Q, but then you've got to press up or left on the arrow keys to ask them the question. So you've got to let go of your mouse. I was like, I don't want to let go because that lets go of the grapple. Oh, it doesn't just while you're holding Q. So I can let go of the mouse to press up or left depending on what I want to ask them.
Can I just say, can you imagine...
It's not great.
Wandering around the desert and suddenly you've got this fucking beefy, heavily scarred arm around your throat and you're like, I'm fucking dead. And a knife appears in front of you, and you're just like, okay, what do you want? And then they just stay silent for 30 seconds as they're moving around really awkwardly.
Well, first the knife disappears because I let go of Q to work out what other button I need to press.
Okay, so the knife goes away.
Because it doesn't say, it comes up around you, one above you and one to the left of you. I think it's like, spit it out, so get them to talk, or call them for like, get them to alert their mates.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say what you have to press. I had to let go of Q to like, is it W and A for this? Or is it, do I have to move the mouse up? So like the knife like appears and disappears and appears and disappears.
So you've got the knife, and like just as you think you're gonna like maybe struggle out, the knife appears again, and then you're like, okay, I'll be quiet. And then after 10 seconds it disappears, you hear shuffling papers. And you're like, what? Is this just a really aggressive tourist? Does he not understand how to hug people? Is he looking up a guide on how to hug people? I'm scared to ask, quite frankly. And then the knife comes back and you're like, I'll just shut the fuck up.
Would you say that the control scheme was probably originally designed for controllers then?
Yeah. Oh yeah, because whenever you see a loading screen, it gives you the controller prompts for try doing this, and then gives you says press A for this. I'm like, well, you definitely don't mean A on the keyboard, so yeah, it's not.
Although,
like, it runs perfectly well on the PC. It's just they haven't done moved the controls over.
Mm.
And maybe I should play it with a controller, but I've lent my controller out to someone who wanted to play Portal with his girlfriend and only had a laptop and no secondary input method. So I was like, just borrow my controller.
We gave that fucking thing back.
Yeah,
to
no,
you,
I've lent that out.
Okay.
So otherwise, I'd give it a go. But I prefer playing. It's a shooter. I prefer playing it with mouse and keyboard.
That's my big problem. Yeah.
But yeah, apparently the game does not want me to. But aside from that, I have enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to playing the actual game rather than the demo.
Yeah.
Or what is effectively a demo, even though you had to pay for it, I think.
Yeah. People weren't happy about it at the time either, don't worry.
No, it's okay. I didn't pay for it, so luckily.
Yeah.
And there is quite a lot of content technically in it, because the first mission takes an hour, 2 hours, depending on how carefully you want to do it, or whether you want to do it fast. And I finished that, and it was like, you're 7% through the game. I was like, I've literally finished the game. But there's so many side missions and little challenges on each mission. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, I can see how you're technically claiming this is 7% of the way through, even though if I wanted to carry on with the game onto the main game, I wouldn't need to do anything else. But, yeah, I will update you next time on how I'm finding the main game and how I'm finding the horse poo, apparently.
Yeah, and you'll love it, dude. It's right up your alley.
Do the horse balls shrink in winter, like in the new Red Dead game?
I don't believe so.
I would think they would have done, but it was early on. It was a lot earlier than Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
So.
They were up to horse poop technology, but not up to horse ball technology.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
The testy tech wasn't there yet.
Testy tech, yeah.
The jiggle tests.
Oh.
Or lack thereof in the winter, I guess.
Yeah. I like the idea that there's these perfectly stationary testicles.
Anyway, that's me done. How about you, Snipe?
I don't think it is. You've played another game, you shit.
Have I?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah,
With me.
I was going to let you talk about that, but yeah, okay, I can talk about that if you want.
I've played that game to death, so I want to hear how you feel about it.
So, for anyone who listened to the last episode, me and Snipe joked about we never actually play these games. We say we should play a game together, and then we just never do. We actually did.
We actually did. So if,
We had to
if,
book
like,
it into
hell
our calendars
frozen
about a
over-
week in advance just to make sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Despite I don't quite know what either of us do the rest of the time.
Well, I work very hard on lots of things, Drummer Matt.
Yeah, fair.
How dare you?
I'm just talking to myself and projecting. But anyway, we played Sniper Elite 4 together. Me for the first time. I asked you. I was like, is the co-op game the same missions as the single player? In which case, I'll just start it with you and not spoil it for myself. And it's your 50th playthrough, I imagine, or
About 60, 50th, yeah, something like that.
So
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun, especially because, like, you know, like, here's my master DLC rifle. I'll swap for your basic ass Springfield.
yeah.
It has like a 16 times zoom as
Yeah,
opposed to like
that's
a 4 times
really
zoom.
the only difference. I mean, there is
Yeah.
other subtle differences, but not enough for me to notice.
Yeah.
But the zoom was very helpful, so I got that. And then especially when the game kept cutting out and you kept logging off, and then you could come back with your gun again, with your new gun.
With full ammo and all
Yeah.
my suppressed ammo. Yeah, it was pretty cool. But no, I think I might have fixed my crashing problem.
Oh, good.
So that's cool. But
Yeah,
no.
it's good. I mean, it's much the same as the third game, to be honest. With I don't know if it's because there's two of us, so it doesn't show them for quite as long. But the shooting the body parts, the slow mo, seeing the bullet go, does not last as long, which is I think good, to be honest, because it just you spent so long watching the bullet fly through the air, which was cool occasionally, but it was.
You sit there kind of going, I think I know my own trajectory. Can you just hit the bad guy?
And yeah,
now,
I know
please?
you could turn it off or turn it down or whatever. But
Quick question to the pair of you, because you both played multiple of the Sniper Elite series
yes,
Yeah.
now. Would you say that the Sniper Elite series is one of the most like iterative in games? Because it kind of feels like each game is like just a series of improvements of the previous ones, rather than like, obviously they have the new levels in each of them, but they're not like a wholly new thing each time. It's just, this is the previous game, but just a bit better each time, sort of thing.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I entirely agree with that. Yeah, they don't, but it works, so I don't mind so much.
Yeah.
Like, would there be like any reason to like say if you had not played any of them to go back and play V2 and 3 rather than just picking up 4?
Out of sheer curiosity, sure. But I'd say if you wanted an optimal Sniper Elite experience, pick 4. Yeah. But wait till it goes on sale because they get really abusive with their DLC.
Oh yeah. I've been meaning to ask actually because I never really thought about it. Is there continuity between them? Like, do you play the same character?
You play the same guy. Yeah.
Do you? Oh.
But I don't think it matters.
It doesn't really matter
does
because you're
any-
just generic, like ridiculously gravelly, deep voice American boy.
How many games have you killed Hitler in?
Oh, I think you had DLC for it in the last one. You had,
did you?
Yeah. I think it's just it happened to be a double, which is why you get DLC for it in Sniper Elite 4 as well.
Was there one
really?
for V2 as well? I'm
I
sure.
think there must have
I'm sure
been,
there was
yeah.
one,
Yeah, there was. It's pretty much every game like has the DLC to kill Hitler.
Yeah, because if you can, why wouldn't you? I guess.
Exactly. I've killed Hitler so many times, and it's always so fucking satisfying.
I mean,
it's fun.
So I'd say, yeah, if you haven't played any of them, you can jump in at 4 without an issue.
Yeah.
And if you finish it and you like all the levels and you've done everything you can, there's no downside really, because it's only a slight iteration. Like, if you want just more levels and more challenges, going back to 3, I don't think you wouldn't be like, oh, this is awful compared to the one I've just been playing, because it's not that much different.
Because it feels the same. It's just like a couple of different things that will change about like the ballistics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I can recommend Sniper Elite 4. It's good.
Yeah, it's good fun to play it. We sort of played it with like spotters for each other as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Because the third one I just played by myself and it was good, but it's very different playing it with 2 people.
Oh yeah,
Especially you, because you know where every single person is at all times.
I
You've
have played that
it
game
so
a
often.
lot. I was like, oh yeah, this is the optimal route. Go around here. There's 2 guys in this cave.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're gonna
it
go
was
up
not
there. There's
challenging.
Yeah, sorry.
But it was fun, so that's fine. It was, yeah.
But yeah, that's why I was trying to get a bit of a backseat to it. And then you were like really crawling through things. I'm like, there's not another guy for 300 meters. We can just stand up and run. Just go.
But I'm trying to do it like in character, being all like stealthy, and he's like, no, there's no one here.
And I'm just like, Min-Max! And running around. Oh, it's good though. We'll have to play. We're playing again tomorrow, aren't we?
Yes, it's literally in my diary.
It's literally in my diary as well.
Grown ups.
Yay!
Okay, and now that is me done.
Okay.
So, Snipe, what have you been up to, apart from Sniper Eliting?
Oh, I was literally about to say, well, I've been playing some Sniper Elite 4. Well, I played a little bit of The Division with Longfang on one of our Thursday streams, which I got in a Humble Monthly, which is pretty decent. It's just like it's a Mamorpaga, but it's like a third-person shooter. Controls a bit like Tom Clancy's Ghostlands, Mans. Yeah, it's
Ghostlands, Mans.
Can I ask you a question? Is it actually possible for you to say Tom Clancy's Ghostlands? Because every time you say it, you say some other weird variation of it. Like, has it just become like a tick now? You can't actually say its real name.
I'm actually scared to see if that's true. So, I don't know.
Okay.
I swim the valley of ignorance.
Personally, I like Tom Clancy's Ghost Lambs.
Ghostlands, Mans.
No, Ghost Lambs, lots of Ghost Sheeps.
Oh no!
Ghost Lambs.
Because normally you just call it like Ghost Boys.
Yeah, well, usually Longfang and I refer to it as like Tim Clancy's Ghost Boys or something.
Tim Clancy.
Tim Clampsy and stuff like that, yeah. But yeah, I played a bit of that. I thought that was a bit fun. I just wanted to mention it because I play video games.
You do play video games?
Yeah. Also, played a bit of Until Dawn. Because we got a PS4 yesterday, and one of the games we thought... I found Until Dawn in there, and I'm like, yes. It's like a Quantic Dream game, but good.
Ooh.
So it's like, this is what David Cage wants his video games to be, and he just can't fucking manage it.
And then, who is it that make it? I can never remember the name of it.
Supermassive Games.
Yeah, Supermassive Games just then went and
did it perfectly.
Just went and gone, okay, so we're just going to make the game David Cage has wanted to make for the last 10 years.
And there's no super creepy shower scene or anything.
And when characters act like shitheads, it's just because they're supposed to be shitheads.
They're all shithead teenagers, but the funny thing is, like, all the people that are doing facial and, like motion capture for these, they're all, like, older than we are.
Well, yeah, because
so it's for those of you who don't know, it's kind of a play on the horror movie slasher flick trope, which is why the guy who plays Mike, who's like one of my favorite characters, is like 45. He's like really obviously a 45-year-old.
How old is he? Really?
He's supposed to. Yeah, he's like the actual guy is about 45. I
really?
think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know if that was...
He's probably about 40, honestly. But like he's supposed to be like this 19-year-old, and he is so obviously like 35 plus.
Yeah, the time. I guess it was made a few years ago now.
Yeah, but no, it's good. I like it. It's interesting using the PS4 controller because they are nice controllers. Like the whole motion
I guess I'll
sensitivity.
find out when I can go play Bloodborne.
Yeah, we'll finish the podcast and you can go play some Bloodborne. Okay, stop shitting. Stop it. Okay?
The pale blood moon is calling.
I know, honey. The blood sings to me as well. It's
know.
fine. It's fine.
We need more eyes on the inside.
Okay, yeah. But first we got to do the podcast, okay, sweetie?
Okay,
yeah.
we'll do the podcast, I guess.
Yeah, good podcast. That's what we're gonna do. It's good. Okay, but yeah, I'm a few hours in, and it's very fun. I like it. I will say there's like a trait thing on your stats screen. So, like, it's, like, got whichever character you're playing as, they have, like, stats. So they're like, charitable, honest, loyal, brave, romantic, funny, this kind of stuff. And I don't know what the fuck that's for. Because, like, I'm playing through with Mike, and I've just got, like, I got to this place, and I'm following a stranger to a place, and he's got a couple of doggos, which I love. I love the doggos, they're very good. And I'm, like, apparently not very honest. And I don't know. Like, I literally petted a deer as it was dying, and I was like, there, it's okay. And my honesty went down. And
you weren't being
like,
honest with the deer. You're supposed to go to the deer, get right up in its fucking face, and go, "You're gonna fucking die."
I'm gonna grab it by its fucking antlers and go, "How's it feel to be a dead bitch?" It's like, maybe I was supposed to do that. It's like, you can kill the deer or you can comfort it. And I'm like, I'm gonna comfort the deer. Because I'm not a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And then, like, it was like my honesty and my braveness went down or something. And I'm like, how?
What? Maybe it's like a golf system and the lower score is better.
No, it's not. It's like they have like lines to show you where their starting point is for these stats as well. And also you have like interaction with other characters. So like you're walking around with Mike's girlfriend Jessica, and she's just a fucking weirdo. And so she's like trying to make you jump and stuff. And every time she made me jump, I turned around and I joked it off because you can't get mad at her. So I was just like, oh, yeah, okay, you got me. Let's go. I'm not scared, silly lady. You know, like you just kind of like flirt it off, have a bit of a joke about it, and then it's like, oh yeah, your charity is going down. I'm like, how does...
The charitable thing would have been to actually shit yourself to make her feel better about her scares.
Can you imagine that, like, her jumping out and him just going, wait, okay, yeah, you scared the fuck, you literally made me poo.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jess. That's very sexy.
Yeah.
Maybe she's into that. Maybe that's why it's not being charitable.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, there's a part...
charitable thing would be to literally defecate yourself.
Well, yeah, I guess that's... When in doubt, poop it out, I guess.
Relationship advice from the MisanthroPod.
Don't fucking listen. But yeah, I got to this point, and this is a spoiler. You get to this sanitarium, this abandoned sanitarium, because it's leaning on all the tropes, right?
Yep.
As Mike. And you get on your left hand, you get your ring finger and your pinky finger stuck in a bear trap. Just crunch right on your fingers. And then, like, you literally see dogs, like, barreling down the hallway towards you. Like, you can see through their eyes, and you're like, oh shit. So it's like, do you want to open the bear trap, or do you want to hack off your fingers?
Oh.
So I hacked off his fingers, and it was so fucking I was like, whew. And then he has a bit of a fuck.
What is it with PlayStation exclusive games and hacking your own fingers off?
I don't know, but it's just one of those things, I suppose.
So there's someone in Sony who's got a really specific kink, and they like send it down like, could you maybe put in a scene where someone has to hack their own fingers off?
It's like, get out of here, Steve. I was like, sorry. But yeah, no.
Cover it up with a pillow next time.
God damn it. But yeah, no, I've been enjoying that a lot. That's a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to giving Bloodborne a go as well. But, you know, we both are, I guess. I watched a DC Netflix series, Titans. Not Teen Titans.
Just Titans.
Just Titans.
But they are still teens, right?
No.
Some of them are.
Like two of them are, I guess. Like Starfire and Robin are like 30 or something.
I think they're supposed to be in their 20s, though I can't tell with Robin, because
Robin has, like, every time we see him on screen, one of us will shout, "Baby head!" Because he has the head of a baby.
He's facially looks
So it's a clever nickname.
It's a very,
Just
you have to be
facially...
very smart and clever to understand the basics of our jokes.
Facially, he looks a lot younger than he actually is.
Which is really creepy when, like, he just wanders around shirtless or whatever, and you're like, facially he looks like 14, 15 years old. And I'm not getting down on him for his looks, but it's just like, it's just a little bit unsettling. Because, like, he just has a really big case of baby head.
Yeah.
And it's kind of... Because, like, everyone else looks their age, I guess. I mean, Gar's a bit hard to place age-wise,
but he is the Beast Boy.
He is the Beast Boy, and he can turn into a really crappy CGI tiger.
It does look really bad.
It's like Beast Wars level of tiger.
It's a funny one actually when it comes to like bad CGI tiger.
If it was stationary, we'd be fine, but the animation skeleton is fucked.
Yeah, I think the big thing when I see things like that is I go, yeah, on the one hand, it looks bad, but then I remember that the tiger that was in the first Beastmaster movie that was dyed to be black died because of it being dyed, if you know what I mean.
It died because of the dye that was used on its fur.
Yeah, so when I see that, I'm like, yeah, no, use a CGI tiger.
Yeah, no, like, all joking aside, I can laugh at it looking jank, but like, yeah, just use CGI because those poor fucking things have suffered enough.
Yeah.
But it follows Raven, how she's got a demon inside her, and how they could have just...
This is the edgiest thing so far. You haven't finished the first sentence yet.
No, I haven't. And like when the demon takes hold of her, she has like all these like she has black eyes and loads of black makeup around her eyes, and it makes her pale and purpley. Also, the color grading in this is shit.
Well, yes, it
is really catastrophically bad.
There is a problem with a lot of movies and TV shows where they seem to think making everything grey is realistic.
Well, the thing is, like,
DC stuff is especially
they've,
bad
like,
for
graded it to make Starfire's, like, her hair looks fine. Because red is something that's always tricky to capture on film. That never quite looks good on film.
Especially going through a colour grading
Especially
system,
getting
that can
colour graded.
look weird.
Yeah. But then you've got, like, so Raven's supposed to have, like, these streaks of purple in her hair. A lot of the time they look neon blue. Like, they look
Is it supposed to be purple?
It's supposed to be, like, purple.
Oh, because it was blue to me.
Well, like, I apparently have a weird thing where I think I might be a touch colorblind. Because, like, people look at, like, Widowmaker and go, why the fuck is she blue? And I'm like, she is purple. But, like, in some scenes it'll be very, very vibrant. In other scenes it'll look a lot more normal. And then there's, like, because, Coriander, because DC cannot fucking name their heroes.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I hate their naming
Her name is Corey Anders.
No, but her alien name is Coriander, but they put an apostrophe where the E should be. And she's also from fucking planet Tamarin, because that's whatever. They're not given the best stuff to work with, so no. I get it. But, like, so sometimes Starfire's dress is, like, really vibrant purple, sometimes it's, like, really gross color-corrected blue. It's really weird color grading, and like, it follows Raven, who has the demons, and she's all like, she's living with her mum, who's a nurse, and she has a nightmare, and she's like, Mum, lock the door, and like, she locks the door, there's like 8 different locks on there, and there's a bunch of crucifixes, and you're like, okay, maybe just a very, very passionate religious mother or something. It's like, oh no, she just has a demon in her that isn't very good at acting, and is like, and like looks at her through the mirror and is like, oh yes, Rachel, yes, let me in. It's like, you couldn't have just put actual makeup around her eyes and given her black contact lenses, because like, I'm pretty sure I can in some scenes see the tracking of where you've failed to like lock it to around her eyes. But I digress, like nitpicking. Like, so the story goes, Rachel's like a super demon half baby, and everybody's out to get her. And Coriander Starfire, she's wakes up in a car in like Europe somewhere, being chased by a bunch of people, and she has no memories, and Dick Grayson's moved away from Gotham because he was fed up of like, quote, like, I'm paraphrasing him, but he was like, it was too much violence being Robin. I didn't want to become Batman. And then the next time you see him do a fight, he horribly murders people, and then he literally breaks a window of a car, and because we all know that car window glass is exactly like just like normal window glass, so it's jagged and spiky and sticks up. He drags this guy's face back and forth over it, even though it'd probably just be really uncomfortable, and it'd be like going over a bunch of like very soft pebbles.
I would still cut the shit out of you.
Yeah, but like
sharp.
It acts as if it's like these razor sharp kind of things. Yeah. And then like, big thing with this is that this was in the trailer, the whole fuck Batman thing that Robin says, because it's gritty and dark, and saying big boy swears is gritty and dark and adult. So at the beginning, he drops down, dressed as Robin, and they're like, oh shit, where's the bat? And I'm like, okay, that's good, yeah, because Robin and Batman are basically like a package deal. You don't really get Robin without Batman. So, you know, they're all looking out going, oh shit, where's the bat? And he's like, okay. And then he beats all of them up and tortures that one guy, and then he like walks away and then just stops and just goes, fuck Batman.
Actually, you're missing out a part there that happens.
Okay.
Is that he says to the person who he like really fucks up, he's like, something about like, you know,
he's like a child molester, and he's like, oh, stay away from kids or something.
Yeah, and he says that, and then he says the fuck Batman thing. So even if you interpret the fuck Batman thing as being in response to them seeing him as Batman,
which is seeing how that feels like that it was the thing to that, but you could fix this with one thing. Just have the guy of like Wally's like, you fucking leave all those kids alone, and he turns around and goes like, well, basically, the equivalent of Batman wouldn't kill me, don't kill me, and then he knocks him out or something, and then he walks away and says, fuck Batman. That would be fine. Yeah. Because that's the last thing said is something to do with Batman. But because he's in the middle going, don't mess with kids anymore, and then he just walks off.
And there's a fight scene in between
and there's a fight scene, and he walks off and he's just like, fuck Batman. It's like, that's really weirdly placed.
Yeah, she sit there and I put it on Twitter and go like, that's just not how a human communicates.
Maybe
like,
it just
really
he was
weird.
just like, he was thinking about it the whole time he was fighting, going, what's the perfect response to that? And then he finally got it and he was like, oh yeah, fuck Batman.
Also, everyone's fucking unconscious.
Yeah,
so
like,
he's not saying it to
he's
anyone. He's
obviously
saying
it to the trailer house that cut the fucking thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and it's just not good, honestly. I mean, it was entertaining in a bad way. It was entertaining because it was just like, this is written quite poorly, in my opinion. So, like, you know, I have this big problem where characters can't talk about anything apart from the main plot or the aggressors, or basically if they can't just talk about nothing, then that's kind of annoying for me. It's like in Twilight, where the best part about the very first movie, apart from like Bella falling on her ass and really eating shit, which was fucking hysterical, is the part where they're just like lying. It's like a montage, and like Edward and Bella are just lying in bed. And there's no sound, it's just music. It's like, yeah, like I say, a montage. And they're just talking. And you can't hear what they're talking about, but they just look like they're chatting. And I was like, that's a really natural thing. Meanwhile, anytime they're actually speaking, there's actually dialogue kind of exchanged that you can hear. It's always, oh, I'm no good for you. Let's talk about this one thing because we are so fucking two-dimensional. That is a big, big fucking problem. I'm not saying sit there and have the characters talk about, like, whatever happened to Captain Crunch? Was he a real captain? I don't believe that man's like ever been in the fucking Navy.
I think a lot of things are improved by having just a few sentences of dialogue that feels like it's ripped from Clerks.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's just like, there should be always time for irreverent conversation. There always should be something in there that really has nothing to do with anything. Just to kind of show that the characters that's not their only thing.
People talk about nothing all the time. This podcast is a monument to people talking about nothing. I've made a career out of
literally talking bullshit. I get it. Like, you know, it's not always about, like... It's like, imagine if like, every time you saw someone, they were just talking about their phone bill. It's that kind of thing. It's just really quite frustrating. And it's like, there are a couple of moments where I think they don't talk explicitly about it, but it's always like, oh, what are your abilities? Or it's, oh yeah, my mom, you know, it's like all this stuff it ties into the main plot and learning about the characters and stuff. It's like, okay, but if like Gar in his basement while playing Cuphead turned around, I was like, hey, and he just had like a little conversation with Raven about how he likes that video game. That would have made it feel so much, that would have endeared me a lot more to those characters. And it's like, just like, oh yeah, do you want to play 2-player? Because like, it ends at, hey, do you want to play 2-player? It's like, if you just put like, do you want to play 2-player? It's like, oh yeah, okay, what is it? Oh, it's this really cool indie game. Like it was put back loads of times, you know, like, but I mean, I really like it. I can't really get past like the first area, but it's just like, the design is really cool. It's like, look how easy it is. You know, just that makes them feel more real. And like, Starfire and Robin fuck, and like, they literally are lying there post-coitus with nothing to fucking talk about. She literally is like, do you want to talk? Robin's like, you want to talk? She's like, what, about the sex? And he's like, okay, guess we're not talking. And then they just start talking about the bullshit again. And I'm like, you're not going to be like, that was some good sex. Or like, you're not going to turn around and go, yeah, no, like, you're a little young to be a detective. You know, like, something like that. Anything! Please, don't just show characters fucking. Show me that they have fucking charisma.
I will say, because as people who listen to this podcast will probably know, when Snipe watches things, I tend to like vicariously.
He tends to sneak his head around the door every now and then.
I'll tend to consume just enough of the series to like have my own opinions on it, but without having watched the whole thing. And there was 2 episodes of the show that I kind of liked. There was the one where it was literally just a stealth pilot for Doom Patrol.
Yeah, that was actually one of the best episodes because it's
It had life, it had colour.
Yeah, like Garfield's Beast Boy, he lives in this mansion with a bunch of other abhumans, or like...
What if we just play his voice is done by Brendan Fraser?
Yeah.
Brendan Fraser. I'm sorry, I'm used to calling our old trombone player Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, we are. But yeah, Brendan Fraser, and it's nice to see him back in the gig again. It's really nice. So he's a joy to behold. And it's like, it's just these quirky kind of characters who live in this big mansion, and it's like, it's just fun. It's nice. It's colourful, and, you know, it's interesting.
The other episode I liked was an episode that I'm not going to give any spoilers about, but it is an entire episode that happens at a point where the plot of the series is super important.
It's literally like all the plot is like, so it basically culminates and then basically leaves like next to no time to sort out a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so, but the actual...
I'm trying to be vague here.
Yeah, the whole thing, the whole episode is basically a giant what if. And it's a really interesting what if, and it goes to, like, the very furthest extents of it. And though, because of how it occurs, you spend the entire time going, okay, this is cool and all, but what's the point in this? Because you've spent an entire episode on something we know isn't real.
Oh, there's another episode that is pretty good and is only marred by the fact, by two things, really. One, the episode's about how Dawn and Hank get together, which is Dove and Hawk, respectively.
And kind of two, like, characters on the periphery.
Yeah,
they're just
kind of there, and Dawn has the worst wig I've ever seen. And it's like they have fucking Raven.
She's also played by the same woman who played North in Detroit Become Human.
Yeah, so she's played
really
by
weird.
North. And it's like, oh honey, your career is not getting off to the best start. You've got a David Cage game, and you've got this. Honey, I know you're better than this. And like that wig is so bad, and like when she's in costume, it looks awful. It looks so, like, her whole getup is so bad. And it's like, they couldn't have just... I mean, it's so obviously a shitty anime, like, cosplay wig. And, like, you get Rachel in one of the earlier, episodes calling her, like, Khaleesi, and I'm, like, fucking cringing so hard, I'm losing teeth here. And, like, but yeah, like, that episode is, like, cute, apart from A, the wig, and B, it has to connect back to the Titans plot. Otherwise, it'd just be, like, a silly kind of, like... two people meeting, like, becoming romantically entwined, which is fine. I mean, it was an average kind of romance plot, and honestly, I liked it because it wasn't the Titans plot. And then, yeah, you've got Raven screaming at them all throughout them remembering it, and you're like, okay, shut up. You're just ruining it, aren't you? Just piss off. It's annoying. But yeah, no, like, I would say it does do certain things well, and that's what the biggest thing about a lot of DC stuff pisses me off with, is if they just took all this focus of trying to be super grimdark and adult and serious, there are decent stories, there are good stories to be told there. And there's another really funny thing, is that they keep name-dropping Batman, and they can't show him, because Ben Affleck has, like, way better things to do.
In fairness, it's not in canon with the DC Cinematic Universe.
But even then, like, they literally just, like, anytime you see Batman, it's just, like, from the back, and he's, like, super blurry, and, like, the most you see, he'll be like, oh, Dick, don't do that, and, like, a hand will come out and put a hand on his shoulder. Or, like, you see Batman in costume towards, like, in the later episodes, and he's just, like, always obscured by the window, or he's got his back to them. And the Batarangs look like weird child snap rulers.
Oh yeah, there's a bit where, like, you see a Batarang in something, and it shows you it very briefly, but it's like this really weird design of a Batarang that is actually really difficult to recognise as a Batarang when you just see it for a few seconds.
Kudos to them for, like, because they did redesign the suit a little bit, and I actually kind of like the way the suit looks.
I've been meaning to look up to see if there's any production
because
photos
from what you see of the suit,
cool.
It does look pretty good, and I do like that interpretation, but I'd say the Batarangs are a little bit too crazy for me.
It would have been fine if you'd have seen them a lot, but because it's like the first time you see it is like
you just kind of like, what
very
is
quickly,
that a ruler?
And it expects it to be recognisable, but it's like such a redesigned version that you go, what the fuck is it? What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And like to remember you like scroll like going back and like, pausing on it and then going, oh, it's a Batarang. Oh.
Yeah, but like, it does sound like I'm really like damning this, but it's like, yeah, it's just not good. It does things badly enough to be entertaining to watch. There's like 11 episodes.
It's quite short.
It is quite short, but like, no, I didn't like it, and it got a lot fucking wrong, but I mean, whatever. I'm not like mad about it, I'm just kind of like, I just wish... It feels like the writers could have done something good, but it feels like they have too much overhead from like a committee or something. Going, no, you've got to say fuck at least 8 times per episode, otherwise it's just not going to be gritty for the kids. The kids like it when you say fuck in like multiples of 4.
It's there's something just I don't know what it is with the DC stuff these days. Like
It is shit.
they just
Wow.
Occasionally they'll put out something good.
I'm hoping Birds of Prey will be good.
Yeah, but like they keep screwing up with things they make, but in new and interesting ways. Like Gotham started off really quite strong.
I just honestly, I want to go back and watch more Gotham because Sean Pertwee as Alfred is. I just want to watch the Sean Pertwee as Alfred hour where he just, I don't know, does the crossword. He is that fucking entertaining to behold.
But it just falls apart after not particularly long, and it just kind of. All the tropes that it was trying to subvert in the early episodes, it just completely like embraces as it goes on, and you're like,
I think a big problem. I think DC should probably just learn how to cut and run, and basically just go, okay, so we're gonna do Titans. We're not okay. So Robin's not anything to do with Batman. Or, like, I know that would be quite an extreme change, but like you need to cut a lot of stuff because comic books are stupid. I read them for like 15 years. They are fucking stupid. So like the X-Men movies, which obviously pinnacles of cinema, right? But like they did pretty well with the whole X-Men, the first movie they did. Rogue, like Mystique isn't Rogue's adoptive mother.
They changed
and
it a lot.
Nightcrawler isn't the daughter of, isn't the son of Mystique, and
basically Mystique isn't the parent of everybody.
yeah, and I'm like, yeah, no, I like this because comic books are stupid and they're messy and they've been going for like fucking decades and decades, and there's so many retcons and there's so many...
at this point everyone is related to and fucking each other.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like it was.
Are you suggesting that comic books are realistically just exactly the same thing as a soap opera?
That, but somehow
with laser eyes.
With laser eyes and a little bit less stupid, but only a little. But yeah, no.
Also, I was describing like the plot of a Star Trek episode to you about like interpersonal relationships, and I did just go, I've just realised like Star Trek is like describing some of these interpersonal relationship things that are super interesting. It sounds like I'm just describing episodes of Coronation Street.
Honestly, that's the thing. I think anything that goes on for like a few decades will inevitably get to the Coronation Street level of just everybody who isn't related is fucking or has fucked. Like Rogue was like dating Magneto for a while, for fuck's sake.
Which is kind of gross.
Yeah, kind of gross, because he's like 1 billion years old. But yeah, so it's just, it needs to cut out a lot of that stuff, because it doesn't do it any favors, and having to rope it in is actively damaging to the storylines and stuff.
I mean, also, I don't think you could remove Batman from Robin's backstory.
No, I wasn't gonna.
Really,
that was an example. I'm just saying, like, use not every character you meet. Like Gotham was terrible for this. Like every character you meet is a fucking part of the Rogues Gallery, or like, oh hi, I'm Talia al fucking Ghul. And it's like, of course you fucking are, because you don't just meet normal people. Because like you go to Starbucks and the fucking, hi, I'm Calendar Man. What can I take a name for your fucking mocha latte?
I think one of the other problems the DC universe has is that how like Marvel has like their real names being often alliterative. So you Peter Parker, Scott Summers, blah blah blah. And that's a holdover from Stan Lee, if I remember rightly.
Yeah,
he
was bad for that. So like basically, the majority of characters he came up with, like Reed Richards and shit like that, if there was the alliterative names, it was almost always Stan Lee. Yeah.
But if you look through like the real names of lots of DC's villains, especially
Harleen Quinzel,
they're all like terrible puns, and they sound really bad when you try and make a realistic setting using them.
It's not Coriander from Planet Tamarin. Like, mate,
ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It's like, look, that's like something you give like a fake superhero in a piece of media. Like,
Or
that's
possibly a
something-
pet.
Or possibly a pet because you fucking hate your hamster or something. But yeah, no, like, I'm getting cranky about all this, but, like, seriously, it's just dumb. And it's just, I think I'm upset with it because it could have been pretty good.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it wasn't, so... But yeah, I've got one more thing to talk about, which is a game I've been playing, and it's new, kinda.
Ooh.
I've been playing the Resident Evil 2 remake.
That doesn't
Yes.
count as new.
It does, because they basically rebuilt it from the ground up. Holy
Alright, go
shit.
on.
Oh my goodness, guys. This is fucking special. Yeah, they rebuilt it from the ground up, and they made it significantly less fucking stupid, which I really like. They've still got the whole, A and B kind of thing. So for those of you who don't know, in Resident Evil 2, the original, you had what was called character name A or B. So you could go, oh, I completed Leon A, Claire B, which is whoever you complete the game first with, they have a certain path and certain things that go on in their A game. And in the B plot, it's also different, but you're kind of working together in the same kind of area and occasionally meet up. So you can play both A and B with either character, but canonically I think it's Claire A, Leon B. So Claire is like the first person you should play as, which is weird because 95% of the user base have just played Leon A and that's it. Because they put Leon first in the character select. But yeah, they've changed so much about this game. Like, they've made it's incredibly fucking gory. It's very well acted, like, crazy well acted. It's optimized incredibly well. Like, the entire game, as good as
Except
it
for
looks.
whenever we try and stream it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah. But yeah, played a good bit of Leon A. I've got up to Mr. X, which, honestly, I'm so scared to play anymore, because he's so scary.
He shot his hat off, though.
I did shoot his hat off and I got an achievement for it, but that still won't make me go back. They've done a bit of a change around with the story. So Claire's still looking for her incredibly hot brother Chris. She doesn't think that. That would be weird. I do.
I'm not related to Gerard Way.
But I wish I was, because he's a major fucking hottie. God. We're going to quote My Immortal right now.
Yeah,
and it's
we're
you
doing it.
it.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Sure, okay. But yeah, so Chris is... got Chris on the brain, honestly. So Claire's looking for her brother Chris, and Leon is just going to work in Raccoon City, and he gets like a call saying stay away, rather than driving 8 hours in full SWAT uniform in the original, because Leon's a dumbass. And they meet up, and then they get separated much the same way as they do in the original one. And then, yeah, they're just out and about, and the way they introduce certain things is pretty fucking terrifying. Like, the police station's had a bit of a renovation. There's, like, the typewriter and, like, the back kind of desk have been swapped. So as soon as you go in, there's, like, the typewriter desk and everything there, and like, it's actually very, very fucking spooky. Because you see a guy on the monitors, and then you got to go around and wander around the really dark offices and this police station that is completely empty and just covered in fucking gore and dead bodies, and it's just incredibly fucking unsettling. It uses light very well in the way that it does not for a lot of it, and the torch is very realistic, and they didn't give it a battery. Because Jesus Christ, this game would have been insufferable if it had like a draining battery.
It gave a lot. It's introduced a lot of modern things to the game, but I'm glad that's something that they didn't feel the need to include.
Yeah, definitely. And like Marvin, the absolute badass, is still there, and he's a lot more involved with the story this time, so that's very cool. Then Mr. X is just pants-shittingly terrifying, because he's just like Nemesis kind of now, where, well, he's even more severe. So at any given time, once Mr. X is activated, who Drummer Matt will explain to the audience, not just for you, just for the audience, because I know you already know who Mr. X is. Mr. X is like, he's like a 7.5 foot tall bioweapon. He's a tyrant classification. So he's kind of what Umbrella, the evil zombie corporation who make all these things, that's what they want to make, and all the
Okay.
zombies and everything else are the unwanted byproducts.
Does it turn out that he's actually a goodie because his name is Misdirect?
No, his name is Mr. X.
I know, but it sounds like he's saying Misdirect, so I'm assuming that, this big obvious baddie must be a goodie.
No, he's like this. He's just
Okay.
this stompy killing machine.
Oh,
He's
okay.
basically a Terminator.
Okay,
And
they trick
give
there.
they give him like a little fedora and a big trench coat, so he looks like he wants to debate feminism with you, and it's just so funny because he's like. But the thing, even if I'm thinking like, oh, he's just like one of those idiots on the internet who's just like her random sexist comment, he is still so genuinely terrifying because like he sees you, he will just stomp towards you and knock you the fuck down. Like he is lethal, and like he just like you'll be in like an area like there are a couple of safe areas where he can't get you, thank God. And like you'll just be in there, and you'll hear like directionally around the police station, you'll hear stomping, like coming and going. So he's actively always searching for you, and it is so fucking frightening because it's not just him. You've got standard zombies, which like they can bite chunks out of you. They're pretty vicious, and they are kind of scary sounding because like they kind of just like and then they see you and they make like really horrible blood curdling like. Kind of like they get really excited because they're going to tear you apart.
You know, one thing I do really like about the zombies is that unlike basically every video game ever, they're like really diverse in like not just like race and gender, but even body types.
Yeah, no, you get different body types, which is really cool.
Which is nice to see because that just makes it feel more real. Because
like I love that whole thing of like, yeah, like look at all like every person in video games and the thing is like every woman is a size 0 and every man is a brick shit house. It's like stop.
And because quite often in zombie games it'll be the same
Like
build.
3
It's the same like
zombies,
build of the same guy.
Yeah,
Who's all the zombies in a game, and just seeing a bit more of a diverse thing just makes that feel more real.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It is. You also get lickers, which are not fun. Those things are basically blind. So if you walk very quietly, you can just about get past them most of the time. Now, the problem when Mr. X is loose is that he walks quite fast. So, if he's chasing you down a corridor and there's a licker on the ceiling, what do you want to do?
You got to deal with one of them.
You got to deal with one of them. Or both. You know, it's just, oh shit. It's just moments of just genuine stomach-clenching dread.
I think that's just a moment where the only answer is run.
Run and pray to fucking whatever you find sacred that licker is going to get stuck on level geometry. The puzzles are a lot less like kind of ass backwards and strange. Like, you know, oh, you have to turn this statue to like 45 degrees and eat a banana and then like do the running man for exactly 30 seconds because if you do it over then you'll just game over.
That sounds like you've played some old Sierra adventure games.
I have indeed. Too many, I would say. So it's still a bit weird because and they kind of explain it away going, oh yeah, the police station is an ex-museum. And it's like, fucking, it's Resident Evil, fine, it's okay. Sherry's in it, Ada's in it. I love Ada's redesign, where she's actually, like, she's still dressed pretty inappropriately, but when you encounter her, she's in, like, a trench coat, which is way more fucking functional than an evening dress.
Yeah.
The part with Sherry that a lot of people will probably remember from the original, where she's running through the sewers and getting stun-locked by cockroaches, that's not a thing. They've changed that area entirely. You still have a moment where you play as Sherry, but I won't spoil it. The spiders have been removed, thankfully, because I guess they thought they were a bit too campy for like this really realistic-looking game. So yeah, they took out the spiders. But yeah, other than that, like, there's a lot of nice touches. Like, you can unlock the original look uniforms and the costumes for the characters. So you get, like, Claire and Leon's original Resident Evil 2 kind of gear.
Can't you get the original models
if you've got it on the PS4? Yeah, if you got the PS4 version, you have the upscaled original models, which blows my fucking mind. That is so cool.
You've got as many like polygons in the entire model as the modern one has in like Leon's nose.
Yeah. Well, even then, holy hell. But yeah. So that's really cool. Also, I found out that if you equip Claire's noir costume, so she's like got like a detective kind of costume called her noir, it just sets the game in black and white.
Really?
It's so cool.
Okay, that's pretty rad,
It's
actually.
so cool. It's just like
I thought the noir outfits looked a little silly,
They look
but
silly.
you're telling me that's actually
yeah,
amazing.
it's really cool. Also, you can because I'm not sure if it's just because I got the edition, the slightly fancier edition, but you can change between the remake soundtrack and the original soundtrack, which I love the original soundtrack. So like Mr. X bursts out and it's got the like the panic music from the original, and it's just like I find it way more calming because like the safe room music from Resident Evil 2 is one of the most calming pieces of music ever.
I will
For
say,
me.
it is something I don't really. The one thing I feel that is a legit misstep is not using that safe room music.
They could have just upscaled or just re-recorded
re-recorded it,
Yeah,
yeah.
just re-recorded it. I think that because that's so synonymous with Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
That's just like that's the soundtrack when you think of
I mean,
Resident
I guess it
Evil
was so
2.
they could sell you the classic soundtrack. I mean, I guess that's probably. I wonder if that's the reason. If they really
who
are that
knows?
cynical, it is Capcom after all.
I mean, yeah. But no, like, it is terrifying, and it is, like, it feels how scary the original, like, there's a little girl playing Resident Evil 2 at the time, it captures that kind of genuine dread and fear, and, like, I don't want to leave the safe room, because I don't know what's out there.
Would you say it does the same thing that Doom 2016 did?
Yes.
Of it? It was
Absolutely.
It made a modern version of what the game used to feel like when
Yeah.
you were a kid.
No, absolutely, yeah. It does it, and it does it
It's how you
wonderfully.
remember. The
That's how I
original.
remember it, yeah. It's just, it's so fucking scary, you guys. It's really scary. Like, fucking poor Longfang, like, he's doing better with it than I am. He completed, like, Claire A, and he's working through Leon B, and, like, he's having trouble with Mr. X, because he is so fucking frightening. So I'm gonna power through it at some point, but God, I'm not looking forward. It's like, I really want to play it, but I'm too scared to. But yeah, and that's basically what I've been doing, just getting scared of Resident Evil 2.
So I guess that leads us on to questions.
Yes! And where should people, and you should email in because we miss you. Where should they email in? What's the email address, Wiblet?
onlydrummermat@snipeandwib@gmail.com.
What is that again?
Onlysnipeandwib at...
Only Snipe
Only
and Wib-
Snipe and Whip. Only drummermat@snipeandwib@gmail.com.
Finally got him to heck it up. Nice. But yes, Drama Butt, on with the questions.
Okie dokie, we have a number of them, quite a lot of fuck, marry, kills.
Cool.
Okay, well, we'll try and do those quickly then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll get on to those. First up, Commissar Mohawk Reek.
Good name. I like
What is your
Mohawks.
favourite character on TTS?
Obi-Wan Sherlock Clouseau.
And I'm going to
officer.
add in the side note of you're not allowed to pick your own or each other's characters.
Oh.
Because that's just too easy for you.
Okay, fine. I say Rogel Dawn is my favourite.
Rogel Dawn's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, apart from the Emperor, because fucking... Oh, so good.
I do really, I have to say, I do very much enjoy Drago, because they've managed to write a character that is fundamentally a kind of lol so random character, but not feel like that.
Yeah.
So I do genuinely enjoy him. I think it's mostly just the phrase "leave that cow alone" is just emblazoned in my brain, and I just
cow
cannot forget it.
Yeah, that's fair. What about you, Drummer Butt?
Well, I am allowed to choose your characters because
Okay.
I'm not
okay.
you, so...
That's fine.
Although if I would have to go for one, it would have to be Matilda.
I can't blame you.
If I had to choose one of you.
Everyone loves Matilda. It makes
She's
me
the
feel
best.
so. It makes me feel so buzzy because I'm like I do the mouth noises of her, and that makes me very, very happy.
Actually, to be fair, I do kind of feel that it's one of those things where it generally depends on what episode I've seen last is what character I like most.
Yeah. It's like dogs. The most recent dog you saw is your favourite dog.
Yeah.
Like, all right. Moving on. Angry Small.
Angry small.
Angry Smart.
So small, so angry.
They are DMing for 3 friends.
Nice.
And they want to thank us for our amazing advice of freaking them out for no reason.
It's great fun, isn't it?
So their method of doing it
Okay.
is that every time their characters sleep, except for long travels and a few other bits, they have a dream. And every now and then, once in every couple of sessions, their dream becomes prophetic of something.
Okay.
But a lot of the time it isn't. But it means that they spend a lot of the time like debating about these dreams and theorizing about what they might mean, and most of the time it's just bullshit dream stuff.
Dude, that is genius.
Which is, I love that. So they're it's not a question, but they're asking if we have any dream ideas to freak them out with.
Okay.
Just off the top of your head.
Something about an infectious disease. Because then they'll be like, shit, what? How can we contract diseases? Literally do anything. And then they'll be so paranoid and they won't want to eat or drink or literally just send like, as you know, this is after the dream. It's like, as you walk down the street, you notice like a bunch of people crowded around the chapel area, coughing quite heavily. They seem to be quite ill, and they'll be like, leave! Oh, we run in the opposite direction. It'll be so funny. Or there's like a dog walks past you and just dies of being sick.
In dog-related ones, I was actually going to suggest you could do a classic and have a large black dog following just out of so you can't really clearly see it, but you can see the silhouette of it
like
constantly in the background of like, so they keep seeing it out of the corner of their eyes. They're very aware that this large black dog is following them.
Yeah, but then make it in like game, just make that there's a large black dog following them because one of them left a bit of venison out of their pack.
Yeah.
So the dog's just like, ooh, jerky.
There's just literally like a terrier who like follows them for a while.
Yeah, or a really big rat.
So that one would actually come true, but it's, but it's completely innocuous.
That sounds cool. Drama, what about you? What evil things can you think of?
Something, I mean, it's something to like make them scared of doors or chests or something, just so then they get so worked up every time they have to go through a door.
Be really insistent on describing how threatening the doors are in the dream.
How they kind of look like gaping mouths begging you to enter them.
Yeah, you feel...
And like you look closer on the sill and are those teeth?
An undulating menace exudes from this portal.
A deep blasphemous growl. Like the maw of something long since past, only riled by the stench of fresh flesh. Or something.
Yeah. Something. Yeah,
something
not that you've thought about this, apparently.
I have not. But now I'm super stoked
Snipe's
for it.
just legit afraid of doors.
I hate doors. They're the worst.
Well, you think you've never seen her near a door in a video?
Yeah, because I actively have... I've gone through one door in my life. That's
Never
it.
again.
Never again.
Never again.
It wasn't very good.
You come through the window,
I
usually.
usually come through the window or make my own door.
Makes going into local GW really uncomfortable.
They're used to me now. I bring my own plaster.
They've made a flap, like a big cat flap, for you.
Yeah, but they make it a really
doesn't-
thin cardboard so I can just walk through it.
Because to you, that's not a door.
That's not... Unless it has a door with hinges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, or a lot of the time what they'll do is they'll just like... Because I broke the window, like... I went in there for like every like... It was about every Saturday evening for like a month. And like I just kept breaking their windows. So what they have is they have one window that is just really pulled tight cling film. So like it's half to make me feel really strong, which is really nice of the manager there, and half so that I don't keep breaking their windows.
Yeah. They tried sugar glass for a while, but that just got expensive.
Yeah, and it just started getting like all the models were getting sticky, and I was kind of like...
And you were getting quite sticky as well.
I was getting quite sticky as well. So
You'd walk out and they'd go...
I'd be covered in fucking like...
They'd be like, you've got a Stormcast attached to you. And you're
I'm
like,
like,
oh, sorry.
I'm not buying it, sorry, here you go. Good
It's like,
paint job,
did I
though.
break it? Oh no, it just came like that.
If it helps, barely anything is fine cast anymore.
Especially that sugar glass I keep walking
Yeah.
through.
You're the reason.
And the reason, because they keep
You're
getting
the reason.
stuck to me and I
Thank
keep
you.
breaking things. You're welcome. I'm pretty generous.
All right, moving on. Okay, a bunch of fuck my kills, but one last sort of...
I will say, let us know, Angry Small, if any of our ideas have been helpful. It's fine if they haven't. I just want to hear if we've really sent them into a weird paranoia
Yeah,
spiral.
I love that idea. That is
That is so
brilliant.
cool.
I really like that. Okay, so last question aside from the other ones. I guess mostly directed towards Wib, but I suppose we can all answer it. Which Star Trek captain would you want to serve under?
Under or under?
So the two guidelines: first, only major captains, as in no like special guest of the week captains.
Yeah.
And your rank is no higher than lieutenant. But your career track is your choice.
Oh, so you can be science or engineering.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't do Archer because he's a moron.
Yeah, but you get to pet a dog. The
Dogs-
dog that causes diplomatic incidents.
It does,
On the
yes.
reg.
I wouldn't go for Janeway because she is not written as a coherent character, so might possibly get everyone killed frequently. So realistically, we're breaking it down to Kirk, Picard, or Cisco.
Yeah, but if
It definitely wouldn't be Lorca. Fuck no. I mean, Pike would be okay. But I think as much as DS9 is my favourite Star Trek, I think it probably would have to be Picard. Because you just want to be around for one of his patented speeches. Because they're good.
Oh, they're
He'll
good.
be, like,
and
when,
he always knows what to do with his hands, which is nothing. And I like that in a man.
Because I feel that even though he's a bit standoffish, I feel that when you'd need him, he'd come in and he'd give you the speech that would be the exact thing you needed to hear at that time. Because he's very well written.
So, like, just unrelated question: did Riker be a captain at any point?
Canonically,
Yeah.
he
Because if so, I pick Riker.
he's not been on screen as a captain in mainline continuity.
So that probably wouldn't count then.
He has been a captain in various alternate futures, like All Good Things. You see him as a captain. Well, actually, I think he's an admiral at that point.
Oh dang!
Of the Enterprise D that's been heavily retrofitted.
I'll be on his Enterprise D.
Yeah. What would
sex
everyone else?
joke.
You just want him to sit on you like he sits on chairs.
I really do. I want him to swing his leg over my head and just crush my thighs.
Well, Riker's a good guy. He knows how to play the trombone, so
Yeah,
you know
I know.
he'll treat you right. He knows how to use his lips
Yes.
and tongue.
And both of his fists.
Why else do you think? People get into ska music? Because all the horn players, they know how to use their bodies.
Yeah, they do. Terrifying spit valve individuals. I would go for Cisco because I think he's really cool and I'd like to hang about on Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
I'd be like hanging out with the Ferengis and not touching their ears because that'd be a bit weird.
It would be.
Yeah.
What would you do, Matt?
That is true. My initial reaction would be go to Picard, but just because he's a suave dude. I like him. But I think I'd actually feel more at home on a spaceship than on a space station than a spaceship.
Yeah. I think I'd make a really good security officer, so I'd just I'd be hanging out with like Odo and shit, so I think I can do that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then like there's a bar there, so I can just like go and have a drink.
Yeah,
Quarks
I mean, to be
whenever
fair,
I'm-
like I couldn't hope to be anything more than a non-commissioned officer because I'm an
Okay, if
idiot.
you can't be a non-commissioned officer, then I certainly fucking
'Cause, like-
Drummer Matt would be.
Because like Starfleet officers are all fucking smart and I am not. So
You're smarter than me. So I tell you, I'd probably like I'd just be a barmaid at Quarks. That's what I'd do. You two would be like fucking well, Drummer Matt would definitely be a science officer.
I'd be one of the
He'd be a science officer who does engineering and security.
I'd be one of the non-commissioned officers that's standing next to one of the terminals that are rigged up to explosives every time the shields get hit,
You're just the same guy who just never dies.
and then gets hit by the rocks that apparently exist in the bridges of all starships.
Yeah, it's ballast.
Yeah, yeah. That's how space works.
Space ballast. Yeah.
Yes, you don't want. Okay, you want to be able to fly through space, but not fly too easy through space. So that's why they put the rocks in there.
Because weight is a massive consideration when you're in the vacuum of space.
Yeah, because like the air is heavy in space.
Yeah, very heavy air.
So-
shockingly so.
But heavy air means that it's actually really easy to pass through.
Oh yeah.
Weirdly, it's like the denser something is, the easier it is to transmit sound. But this is the denser the air is, the harder it is to not just fly the fuck away in a spaceship. That's the biggest problem. When they first sent a spaceship up, it just fucking hurtled off to Jupiter or some shit, and we didn't see it. Haven't seen it since.
Matthew, move on, please.
All right. So fuck my kills.
Okay.
Okay.
First up, Bloodwolf Koji, and we've got one each.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
So Snipe,
Yeah.
Saint Celestine,
Oh.
Howard Deathwolf, Crom
Oh.
Dragon Gaze.
Oh. Okay. Well, I'd kill Celestine because she'd be back like 2 minutes later.
That's true.
So, yeah. I'm min-maxing this.
Fair.
I'd fuck Harold Deathwolf because he's fine.
He's fine.
He's fine. He just, I reckon it'd be a bit morbid. And that's from someone who literally just, if I could, I would wear nothing but skull jewelry. So, yeah. And then I'd probably marry Crom. Because then he could dragon gaze into my eyes.
Oh.
And I'd divorce him if he didn't use that pun.
Yeah,
That's
every
fair.
day.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Space Wolves are basically like, their pun and wit, like, that's kind of like a necessity for them.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling hopeful.
Okay.
Okay. Wib,
Yes.
you have Lady Malice,
Okay.
Inquisitor Gregor Eisenhorn, a.k.a. Greg,
Oh, Greg.
and Ivrain.
There's some tasty, tasty people in there.
Now, Irvine, I'm not really like super like familiar
So you're just gonna kill her?
with her because I never really read the Gathering Storm stuff, and I'm not far enough through Dark Imperium the novel. So I mean,
Who are you gonna kill? Probably kill Ivrain because you don't know them, I guess.
but she is, she does represent the Eldar, and you know what? Sample the fine bounty of the universe.
Okay, but don't act as if they're like a basket of fruit to just go and
Well, no,
have a bit of.
Well, no, I
Respect your partners, Wib.
I approach the fuck, marry, kill question as if everyone is absolutely fine with it.
Oh no, yeah.
And they're like basically like, hey, do you want, like, the fuck one is like, hey, they're basically like, hey, do you want to fumble? And you're like, yeah, sure. So I'd probably fuck her and
What,
then
Ivrain?
yeah, and who was the first one?
Lady Malice.
Oh, she's not very nice though.
I'd probably kill Lady Malice because
Someone has
Dark
to.
Eldar and all that.
Yeah,
and,
they're kind of mean.
yeah.
Oh, you're gonna marry our Greg?
And I guess that means I'm marrying Greg. I guess I'm
Nice.
marrying Greg.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Greg rules, okay.
Greg rules, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's all you need really.
Yeah.
That sentence.
Yeah, he knows how to suck dick and throw knives.
Oh, yeah. I mean, fair. All right, drummer Matt.
Yeah,
In a
drama.
surprise 30k twist, I have Nathaniel Garrow,
Oh, that's not fair. He got the hottie.
Latara Saren,
Oh no!
You got the
Fuck you.
best character.
and Conrad Kurz.
You got Batman.
You got. Oh my god! This is blatant favoritism. Because that sounds like one hell of a fucking evening, dude.
Yeah, can I have all three?
Yeah, fuck all three and marry them as well.
All right, no. So I'm going to.
Because remember last time we said that we'd fuck a space marine because we want
Yeah.
to survive after.
Well, no. I'm gonna fuck Conrad Kurz because he's chaosy.
Yeah.
And I feel like that'd open more doors to me as just to trying him out just to fuck.
Like, he'd be a little freaky, huh?
Which I don't know if that's best
might
to
cry
marry
the whole
into.
time.
Yeah,
But-
but like maybe you're into waterworks because that's what that means
okay.
in regards to sexual
Yes,
fetish.
it does.
Yeah, nothing else.
Let's not dwell on that at all. Let's move on.
Don't
So
Google
in
it.
terms of killing and marrying, I mean, Latara Saren is like gets on okay with Angron, so I feel like she'd have some very good conversations.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So
She's
Also, she is like the ultimate lady.
she shot
Yeah.
a space marine in the face with a las gun, knowing it wouldn't do dick to him to prove a point.
Like
yeah,
seriously,
I
that
mean,
woman is amazing.
yeah. So I'm gonna have to marry her
Yeah.
and just
And fuck Garrow. Oh,
kill off.
oh, you're gonna kill
yeah.
Garrow?
Yeah, I don't really know much about him, but I looked him up, and he was apparently the first true martyr of the Church of the God Emperor, and I just can't be bothered with that.
Okay, that's fair.
He is a pretty
did.
cool guy if you've read the books and audio stuff about him.
Yeah, I have not. I'm basing it entirely on that one sentence.
That's
Okay.
fair. That's fair.
Basically, the
yeah.
other two I know a bit more about. Him, I'm
Yeah.
not entirely sure. So, okay. Next up, so this one, there's a couple more. I guess these are for everyone. So Paul, this is a kiss, marry, kill.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So we're not killing them.
That's fair.
That's cool. So kiss,
Alf-
marry, kill. We're not
kiss-
killing them.
Actually, it's Kiss Mary Kill, but I think that might be a typo, either possibly by me
Okay,
or
so instead
possibly
of
me.
like instead of undergoing like full coital activities, we're just gonna give him a bit of a kiss. We're gonna have a bit of a make
kiss.
out.
Yeah,
something
okay.
like
That's cool.
Okay.
That's cool. I'm okay with that.
So, Brother Alpha Booster,
Um.
Carl the Deranged, and Dr. White.
Oh, I'm not comfortable with this.
It is a kiss, not a fuck, so, I mean...
Yeah,
Does that
but I'm
make
gonna
it better?
have to kill one of them, and I don't want any of them dead. I'm basically married to Dr. White or Thunder Psyker. I can't tell which one. Or
Okay.
Wib.
Okay. I'll tell you what. I've got it. So do you want me to? I'll answer for all of us.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to kiss Carl.
Okay.
Okay.
And give him kiss curls.
Is this all at the same time, by the way, or do we take it in turns?
Yeah, we're all doing it at the same
We're all
time,
at the
so it's
same time.
really
Right, okay.
messy. It's going to be
Okay,
so
yeah.
messy, dude.
We'll marry Alpha Booster because he's our sugar daddy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm afraid Dr. White has to die. And that's nothing personal, White, but that's because people keep mistaking you, me, and Thunder Psyker for being the same person, and I need to remove the competition.
Just because you guys are like... You're literally like Solidus, like liquid and solid snake.
sound anything alike. People
Well,
leave
when you make
comment-
that voice.
People leave comments on our videos sometimes.
I didn't know Thunder Psyker had a wife.
And I don't know if they're joking or not, because so many people think we sound similar. But also, we've been public about that we don't get it, so I don't know if it's a joke or not.
In that case, if you're kind of the same person, I'd rather not kill Dr. White, because I'd rather accidentally kiss or marry you than accidentally kill you.
That's a really sweet thing to say, dude. Nice.
Thank you.
So, I guess that
Thank
changes
you,
my
I
answer
suppose.
slightly.
Okay.
I don't know who I would want to kill out of them, though.
I don't want to kill anyone.
No.
It's fine. I gave an official answer. That's the sniping with... I put
Yours is the
si-
canon answer.
Yeah, the sniping with
All at the
seal's
same
been
time.
placed on it.
Yeah, see, ours are
Alright.
just what ifs.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Our last back to, I think, fuck, marry, kill.
Cool.
Ibram Gaunt.
Ooh, he is a fucking hottie.
Ceophas Kane.
Yeah. I've heard a million different pronunciations, and I've always
Yeah.
been scared to say it out loud.
Yeah, it's another word I've never said out loud before, so who knows?
Yeah.
Sebastian Yarrick.
Ooh,
Now,
we have some tasty boys here.
I'd probably marry Gaunt.
I would absolutely marry Gaunt, because have you seen those pretty green eyes?
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. I literally have never read anything with Kane in, so I know nothing about him, so he's going to get killed. However, Yarrick, is the person you gotta fuck, because whilst
You gotta fuck that boy.
because whilst I don't think he's someone who would be stable enough for you to be around all the time.
But that means like, but the thing is, for a good old like, you know, roll in the hay, it would be life changing.
This is someone who commits to things they do, like, outrageously.
Yeah,
he
okay,
has a
fair,
tank.
fair.
His like tank, his personal Baneblade is called the Fortress of Arrogance. And because it was spread around, like, orcs
My
thought...
brain just referred to, like, well, that must mean he refers to his bed as the Fortress of Fucktown.
Maybe he does.
I want to go to the Fortress of Fucktown.
And when he heard the orcs thought that he could kill them with just a look, because he was like... Because, like, orcs think he's fucking crazy. He had a laser installed in his fucking skull so he can literally look at you and kill you.
You could start a rumor about it that orcs think that his dick is way too huge and, like, automated and, like, equipped to, like, satisfy any, like, anatomy.
So he'd get a
And
sex
he'd get,
servitor,
like,
installed.
He'd get, like, an amazing servitor dick just to service you with to frighten orcs. Although my only worry is that he'd be a bit like Patrick Bateman in the way that he wouldn't be staring in a mirror while, like, flexing and fucking you, but he'd be staring at a picture of, like, Gazcool being like, ugh!
There'd be a picture of himself. No, there'd be a picture of himself on the back of your head.
And then you'd have to wear a Gazcool mask. Yeah, basically same answers as Red here. I gotta know how fucking weird Yarrick does. I have to.
You don't name something the Fortress of Arrogance if you don't have something weird going on there.
The Fortress of Fucktown. Take me to the Fucktown, Yarrick.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that logic, to be honest.
Yeah.
It is kind of impeccable logic there.
So is that us for
That is
emails?
us done. Yep.
Okay, well, thank you very much for all the emails, everybody.
Yeah, no, really enjoying those fuck, marry, kills. They are very fun and just silly to do.
Apparently, last time I did a bad enough job of making anyone else want to play Just Cause because no one took my offer with a free copy.
Oh, Jesus,
shit,
really?
okay.
So,
Well, the thing is that they didn't want it now. They won't want it now. Well, they absolutely won't want it now unless they're like heard this and now they're like, well, I feel bad that Drummer Matt's tried to do something nice. Now you'll get like 8 people being like, I need it.
maybe the offer's still there. I still have a free copy, but I don't think I'd recommend it.
Like 1,000 people have listened to the podcast and they're just like, nah, I'm okay, actually.
No, thank you.
Doesn't sound great. It's like, yeah, I don't blame you.
I guess it is. I guess like when you badmouth a game, it is kind of like walking into a room and going, "So I just bought this plate of chips and they taste really shitty.
They
like
taste
honestly,
exactly
they're really,
like dogs' buttholes.
like they taste like literally like a dog's asshole, and they're really rubbery and horrible. Do you want any?"
Also, a pigeon did a shit on one of them.
And it's that combined with the fact that there's technically only one game that I can give out, so it's the last one, so no one wants it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least any British person listening doesn't want it.
Oh, I can't take the last one. That'd be rude.
Jesus Christ, that fucking... Okay, like, quick anecdote time. We had a band meeting at our old house where we all bought, like, snacks and biscuits and chips and stuff, like, crisps and stuff. And just as everyone was leaving, I literally went through and looked at every packet of crisps and biscuits. There was one left in every single packet. And I stood there and I had a fucking meltdown. All these British fucks. I was like, do you have any fucking idea how painfully British that is? I demand that you finish a packet. And no one had the fucking guts to do it.
You don't want to be rude
It's like,
and
well,
have the last one.
Don't want to have the last after 8. So I was like, fine, I'll have the last of everything. And then I watched as all the English people stared at me mortified as I exerted my immense power that none of them could match.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which is why, like, as an Australian, like, I will eat the last of anything. Even species, children, animals, friends, DVDs. I don't fucking care, mate. I'll
I just
eat
want
it.
to say ass.
Ass. I'll eat the last ass. You want me to eat ass? I'm fucking eating everyone's ass. Down to the last
just the last
bullet.
one.
Well, now that people can clip that piece of audio,
Where like, Snipe goes insane and declares she will eat every ass. .mp4.
and now we have the title for the podcast. Thank you all for listening, everybody.
Thank you very much for listening. I've been Snipe. He's been Wib. And he's been Drummer Matt. And if you'll excuse me, I'm off to eat a blasphemous amount of ass.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Blasphemous amount of ass.